Hello there. Let me make my picture a bit bigger. Oh, too big. That's probably about right. No. Mm, okay. So this is a great start. So I've been watching the Louis Theroux documentary. It's only been released today, this morning. I've watched about half an hour of it so far. My main interest is not so much this time in the content. I've been kind of watching it in relation to Louis' style, if it's evolved. I've always been a big fan of Louis Theroux's work. I started off actually being more of a fan of the documentary style of Nick Broomfield, and Nick Broomfield, who did the Nirvana and the Sid and Nancy documentaries. You might remember some similar content, the South Africa one, that's similar to what Louis Theroux has done, and John Ronson's done similar things. But Louis Theroux's kind of perfected and become a mainstream, mainly through being on BBC. If you remember back before that on Channel 4 on TV Nation with Michael Moore. I've always found him interesting. He's kind of tangentially linked to Adam Buxton and Joe Cornish, Adam and Joe, and they all went to school together. So I'm kind of aware of him through those. I've read Louis's book. I listened to his podcast, and I'm interested in his style. So and how it's evolved over time. So he's changed a little bit. His recent interview with The Guardian provoked me to make this video, mainly because in the interview, the interviewer decided to use Louis' strategies on him. And Louis is, for somebody who's written a book about his life, he is quite private, and I think it's more about him releasing information, having control over information on himself. So he was very reticent to share personal stuff, or he battered things back when people tried to do the things that he's been doing in his podcast. So recently, his style has evolved in the podcast sphere anyway, in the terms of he will drop in a little controversial person or theme and just kind of see. It's almost like he's trying to, like, literally with Boris Becker, almost like a game of tennis, just to see how people will react. Obviously, you can't use his main strategy as much in podcasting as you can in documentaries, which he does in this one, Manosphere. I've watched the first half an hour. The sort of giving people enough rope to hang themselves, basically. What he's done many years is he just lets silence do a lot of work, and then the person is just looking to fill that silence. It's a perfect example in the he's with some guy, I think his surname's Waller, in this one, and Louis asks a question and the guy answers it in a quite short way, and then Louis just pause. I think he asks him if he's in a monogamous relationship, and he says something like a one-way monogamous relationship. He's like, what's that? And then he explains it, and then Louis says nothing, and the guy is like, oh, you're angry. Did that sting? Did that hurt? And Louis like, no. Like, what? Why would that, bother me? But it's those pauses. It's amazing, because obviously a lot of these people that he's meeting in this Inside the Manosphere documentary, they won't do the research. They're not that kind of person to do the research and find out about him. They don't really know who he is to a certain degree. They might Google him halfway through when they feel things are being set up in a certain way. Like, some of them are just, that sounds terrible, but they're not that bright to kind of do their due diligence on things. This is why, I mean, that they've got a niche, certainly, from what I've seen, and their niche is making lots of money off gullible people, or maybe not gullible people, but impressionable people, or frustrated people, or people looking for purpose. And it's definitely interesting to see how that is evolving in this documentary. So, for example, the crypto thing and the signing up to the online courses, universities and stuff, it's all very of course they're making money out of the people who are paying the $40-50 a month to it. So that's why, and then they brag about making the money, which then gets more people to pay the $50 a month. And it's the same with the crypto stuff. It's like, you will lose money, but when you lose money, I make money. So this is how I'm making money. So it's like it's a cult of personality to a certain degree, and it's a kind of aspirational thing, and then there's Louis trying to find out the darker undertones of this manosphere, the kind of the misogynistic side of it as well, and kind of thing, kind of things. Now let's not beat around the bush. Louis Theroux's style and content, isn't necessarily. I mean, he's like a print journalist. I always think, in the sense of the story is the key, and the more interesting the story, or the more engaging the story, then once you've found a method that works, then he sticks to it. So pretending to be this kind of innocent or not, unaware person, and just letting people expose their behaviors and stuff, kind of being very benign and gentle. And it's mad that in 2026 people are still falling for it. They're literally, and then some of them, like, they just look so funny, like, as they're kind of working out how things are going, like, oh, I'm going to get stitched up, and they kind of, these guys are so undeveloped in terms of their like maturity, that they don't know how to deal with him, other than just to talk about all the sex and money and cars that they have, which doesn't really have, like, isn't really doesn't really, it's like their comfort blanket. So we're going to watch it. We're going to watch the rest of this. I've got 1 hour, 7 minutes and 38 seconds left. He has so far met HS Tiki Toki, this Waller guy who's like a disciple of Andrew Tate, and he's also met Ed Matthews, who's like showing him something on this video of like some sting he's done of some, like, because he doesn't, it's just for views or what have you. But anyway, he's showing him, and he's like looking at Louis like like that, trying to get some sort of, I don't know. It's just it strikes me here that they're so it's just a world of insecurity and immaturity, and like they don't really know what masculinity is. It's just like they're like babies. So I think it's not too difficult for Louis to outthink these people. Louis definitely has elements of like now he started putting little ironic in his podcast anyway, little ironic quotes about him being like respected and highly regarded and intelligent documentary maker. So he's added this little wrinkle to his thing. I don't know. I was wondering if he was going to challenge things as more, but that's just not his style in these video ones, in these actual documentaries. He will go in, he'll ask a question, and then he'll step back and pause and then see how it goes. These are safer than some of the places he's been to and some of the things that he's done. I think people sometimes get upset that he doesn't make a statement about one side or another, but then you could also argue that that's the role of a documentarian. Now, is Louis like your traditional, documentary maker, where he just sits back and lets the subjects kind of, and just doesn't kind of tamper with their, no. Like, they completely change when they're with him. I think from the moment we had like Weird Weekends onwards, Louis is as much a character in these as the people he's interviewing, and that's fine, because actually he's really entertaining to watch. He's honed that Broomfield style to make it more palatable to the masses, and the subjects he chooses are usually quite interesting. Are they that thought-provoking? Not really. More entertaining than thought-provoking, but like, if you can watch thought-provoking documentaries, but they're sometimes quite, sort of bland. So we're going to watch from we've got 1 hour, 7 minutes and 38 seconds left. So I'm going to just, when you see play, if you can skip to that too, we'll watch it together. If you've already watched it, great. If not, so I'm just going to press play, and then I'll see you in a moment. Okay, play. So we're up to a moment where he's with this Waller guy, and he's meeting these two young lads, and they're both like, oh, he's like our biggest role model. And like I think the word value is learned a lot. And like this is where we're kind of he's talking about the differences between men and women, like he's some sort of amazing shaman, and these two guys are just like, like the value of beauty and blah 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 blah.
Otherwise, nobody cares, and that's a fact. I want to see to your face, like, thank you so much. Like,
so they're all like thanking and fawning over this Waller dude. And he's just watching. I love the fact that Louis just saying nothing can sometimes really, the more insecure people, they have to fill that space, or they have to look, they're trying to get some sort of read off him.
The content put out by Justin and his peers pushes an ideology known as the red pill.
So Louis now breaking down what the red pill philosophy is. I'm not super which I guess is related to the Matrix and stuff, and like what reality is and all that, but I'm not like super interested in that side of things. I'm not really watching it for this at the moment. My watch really is because of that interview in The Guardian. I want to kind of see how Louis has evolved, and this is classic Louis. This is exactly what he does. You know, he's breaking down the subject, he's learning the subject, he's paid to go into one of these Telegram groups, he's paid for some of the crypto stuff from HS Tiki Doggy, and he's just trying to now dig into the story a little bit. I think the story is he tried to get Andrew Tate, but Andrew Tate might be, being older, knows what you're not going to come out of a Louis Theroux documentary looking better if you're doing stuff you shouldn't be doing. So it makes sense why he wouldn't, because he's a bit older and probably a bit more aware who Louis is. In a way, this is quite interesting because a lot of the younger guys won't know or won't care to find out who he is. So I don't know who this guy is. We're on to another guy now. He's talking about his one-way monogamous relationship. I think I'm aware enough about this subject in the sense of like I don't feel like anything has popped up where I'm like, what, they're scammers? No way. Oh, crypto. Oh, sign up to a university. Like nothing so far has surprised me. I think maybe Louis, he hasn't shown the impact on younger people yet, and that's the concerning thing, isn't it? That's the concerning, impressionable young people. And you know, if it's a bit like the kind of incel community, I suppose, where you don't, they're so separated from a real woman or other people, full stop, that their understanding and interactions with real people become distorted and twisted and you know, through frustration and confusion and indoctrination, they become like I guess kind of radicalized. So this is, you know, it's not showing that, it's just showing the people doing it. Hey Larry, listening on the way to work, good morning to you. I started a bit earlier actually. Thanks Horror Cat Dad, happy birthday. It's the Horror Cat Dad's birthday, so if over on his channel you can go and wish him a happy birthday. I'm hoping to get on tonight and onto his channel and wish him a happy birthday. I'm an old man now, so it's late, but I'll do my absolute best. So yeah, it's no moment, lots of podcast clips. I guess this is context for people who don't know who these Manosphere dudes are. I worry about giving things a name. Like sometimes, like giving a name gives it value. Like it's just like, what are they really, just like grifters, I guess? Just like, because the thing is, one way of working out if somebody really is attached to their ideology is if they stop making money off it, do they change their ideology? And the answer is usually yes. So like if these things didn't get an audience, then they would just change completely. Like people will slag off a certain religion and then they'll convert to that religion when it's a little bit more, you know, gets more views or more or whatever, more engagement. And that's always a danger these days, isn't it? Changing who you ideologically are to get social media engagement at any level. You know, like it's like me now. I could be doing this video. I might, I know which videos of mine have been successful, so I could just do 10 of those. But like, this is really interesting to kind of catch up with Louis. I've probably been watching him, what, 20, 30 years maybe, or definitely the late 90s with Michael Moore, TV Nation, which I found fascinating when I was a kid. I found it really, really interesting. I remember getting the Michael Moore TV Nation book, and I remember watching Louis on that, and then that evolving into Weird Weekends. And what I did like about Louis, and I still like about Louis, is that like if there isn't necessarily there isn't a judgment, but I guess that's not the job of a documentarian. But I suppose if something's concerning, he will say. I think the one thing that sits with him the most is that, like, maybe he had an opportunity to do more in terms of the Jimmy Savile stuff, like challenge more, and maybe that has changed how he looks at his role. I don't know, but like in this one, he's just asking gently testing questions. So he's asking him if he would have more than one wife, and she's kind of there listening as well. And she's not too happy. She doesn't seem too happy about that. This is the thing as well. It's like, it's quite, well, I don't know. It's like somebody was saying earlier on, it was like HS TikTok. He was like, oh, this woman was doing certain things to him in a toilet. And like, Louis was like, what, how would that help her? How's that? And he's just like, clout, like, just, it would just, he doesn't know how it'd help her, but like, I'm famous kind of thing. So that's what she gets out of it. And yeah, that's sad. The sad thing is that is, really concerning. And I guess it comes down to anything. It's like, it's the same as the young lads who follow these guys, the women in a different way. I think they're just kind of vulnerable, and like, these people look at them as like an income stream. So, or like just a quick fix of making them feel better in the moment if it's a woman, and that's really disappointing. Hi Tara, thanks for watching. I appreciate all the people who are popping up in the comments. I'll put the comments on the stage so I don't miss any. Thank you for everyone who's watched so far. Loads of people have come and gone and watched this. A lot of people watching on Vertical at the moment, and I know my interview with Thomas Smith from Demon Squad, like 10 times more people watched on the Vertical. That was really cool. So yeah, I'm it's weird, isn't it? It's weird, like the we're seeing these things are very much right. Nobody's hiding these things from Louis. There will definitely be things that are darker, that are going on behind closed doors, as we find out. Like, the more power and money people get, the worse they behave generally. So he's off in a, I'm going to say Lamborghini. I'm not a car guy at the moment. And then he's discussing with this Waller guy, I can't remember his first name, about like, can he find love because he's with so many women? So, and like, is that, what is happiness? And quite an interesting, talking about like women who have tattooed his name on them. Now, this is where we get into the kind of culty side of things, like Nexium and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if you listened to the Michael Rosenbaum interview with Alison Mack. Man, that was interesting. So Tara, this is on Netflix at the moment. This is Louis Theroux's documentary. It's about an hour and a half long. It's Louis Theroux, Inside the Manosphere. It's a documentary. It's his first one for Netflix. He's done many for the BBC. Weird Weekends, Louis Meets. I like the Louis Meets stuff because they were more about people just outside of the mainstream celebrities, maybe 5 minutes of fame, or their 5 minutes of fame were up. and they were quite interesting. They were usually people from TV from my childhood. Louis did Weird Weekends, where he spent a weekend doing like a strange thing, like something different to him. This is an example as well about Louis' canniness. So he did a whole one about hip hop culture in Atlanta. This was when he'd already edited and contributed to a hip hop magazine for years and years, and he went into it and he was like, "Oh, like he knew nothing about hip hop," because that was the best approach. So he was like, by pretending he knows nothing and letting these people educate him, they reveal themselves. And that's his main strategy. That silence, pregnant pauses, letting them fill the space, maybe trying to choose the exact question just to kind of fire them up a little bit. So yeah, it's a style he's honed over many years. It's not necessarily a style nobody else uses. And it's not like like some of my favorite documentaries, like the Mailsers did, like Grey Gardens, and the one about the Hells Angels at the festival, the Rolling Stones one. Like those are more like, we just document, we just see. And again, that you have power within the edit, but Louis a character in these two. So this red pill community and this manosphere is what he's into at the moment. And I think he's interesting because of Louis' age. He's a bit older than me. I think he's probably mid-50s. So he's probably about 10 years older than me. I think it's a good amount of distance where they, A, don't think he's a threat. B, it makes sense that he doesn't know about this because he's not like a young man full of piss and vinegar who's looking to kind of like urgently do something with their life. So they're often very, very simplistic ideas, but it's the personality of the person putting them across. So this guy's very like, and it is, and like it's the next level of parasocial relationships, isn't it? It's like, I'll buy a t-shirt if I like a creator, but I'm not spending £50 a month for them to tell me the secret of life. And these guys are always like, treat their women as an object and then go, I love women. They're great. I love them. And it's like, Louis kind of just testing the waters here with like consent and what they want to do and things like that. I know that there's a YouTuber called Memulus in the UK, George Memulus, very successful. He's done quite a few videos on people like this, and I think he's a really good kind of British take on a lot of this stuff, because you can't. We have a good way sometimes of not. We can't take ourselves too seriously. So finding the humor in this kind of thing. I thought it was interesting earlier on as well. HS Tiki went online and people were like, man, this guy's going to rip you. He's going to make fun of you. He's going to... And all of a sudden he was just like, oh, I'm scared. And he's like, I've got to go to bed. He literally said, I've got to go to bed. So like he was on to Louis straight away. Didn't spend a lot of time with him. So Justin Waller, this guy's called. I don't want to say. And then this kid's literally saying, I didn't have a male father figure. I didn't have a father figure in the house. Didn't have a male figure in my life. And that's really sad that the gap is being filled by chancers and grifters who don't care about you. But then, without going too deep about it, that's politics as well now, isn't it? That's like, people aren't really, they don't care. There's a lot, they say they do, but they don't. They don't care. I'm so disappointed by, particularly time and time again, disappointed by people who you think, oh, there's going to be a change, it's going to be different, and then it's just grift and lies and nonsense. And it's really sad as a 40-odd-year-old guy to still kind of see that, and see young people falling for it and old people falling for it and everyone in between. We're in need of some positivity and understanding and getting closer together. Maybe if that means like the social media side of life is lessened and the connection with real people is enhanced, then that I think might make a big difference. Just kind of, you can't hate things or loathe people if you know them and you know their journey and their life and you spend time with them. It's like, stop being scared of things that don't affect you, or scared of things that aren't that are just like there to make money for someone else or blame, you know, oh, we'll give you the reason why you're not being successful. It's somebody else's fault. And what we have to do is sort of crush them, and then that will somehow bring you, you know, success. And it doesn't. Like, it doesn't. Objectively, it doesn't. I'm reading a really interesting book at the moment. I'd recommend. It's called The Beginning of Infinity, and it's less about that kind of some of the nihilistic things that I've just said about, you know, and more about like, you know, where our explanations come from and things like that. You know, it's that kind of stuff. It's a really you know, really ambitious, interesting, but positive look on kind of how cultures developed. What should I do when the bullies tease and come and don't say just walk away? I need a snappy comeback. I can't fight. I don't know, man. I'm not like, I don't know if that's if you're joking or like if you really have that concern. I would just say like talk to like a real person, like not someone on YouTube, and like go and speak to a friend and or somebody with like experience and things like that. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't have the answers, so I would speak to a real person. But I'm definitely not a preacher. I have what I think. Nobody has to listen to it. Feel free to switch off. That's fine. But maybe that's the concern. But I'm more interested in this documentary in Louis' style and how it's evolved over 20, 30 years. It's interesting that this is more of a hot button topic, like you're not allowed to talk about these things, or you feel that you don't want to talk about these things because it opens up a different like audience who are like, oh man, you're like, you're this guy, I think he's amazing and blah blah blah. That's fine. Like, you have to find your own way. So do whatever you want in terms of like just try not to hurt other people, but like do whatever you want and work it out for yourself, you know. That's what we all have to do. But all my point of view, I guess, is just kind of spending a bit of time with someone different to you and listening to them and connecting with them is probably a good thing. I'm lucky that I've, you know, had a lot of opportunities to kind of get out and about and speak to people, and you find it a lot harder to blame them for your own failings then. So Louis actually been on one of the podcasts here now, which was interesting. Whether they're sometimes people do that, they try and put him in an uncomfortable position to see how he responds. So I don't know. It's like it's an interesting way. It usually doesn't work. It usually doesn't work. But because he's very comfortable on camera and very comfortable in interviews and stuff. So he's talking to Louis' partner, and she's just like, so Louis talking to this guy's partner, and like she's like, I shouldn't be talking to you while he's on air.
I don't know how to properly say this, but
I cannot answer any more questions for you. Oh wow, yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
That's all right.
I appreciate you guys.
All right, no problem.
Thank you.
So Louis' been cut off now. I don't know if it's his girlfriend, this guy's girlfriend, or somebody who works on the show, or one of his partners, but like she's just not allowed to talk to Louis now.
Myron had seemingly shut down.
Myron, this guy is called. I don't know what his surname is.
But before I could find out why, it was showtime. So
the show's just about to start, and like this Myron guy's just like, you're not talking to Louis. A lot of people on this podcast. A lot of 1, 2, 3. How many people are there? Like 10 people? Wow, it's a lot of people on one podcast. Have we hit peak podcast? Maybe.
Just say OnlyFans, man.
Actually, no. I think I might be stopping OnlyFans.
I mean, I'm interested in this subject to a certain degree. Louis now on the podcast with about 10 different people, and he's trying to put him on the spot. Like, am I toxic, Louis? Louis not going to answer. This is the thing. He's going to be very diplomatic, I think. So Louis talking about the format being maybe to embarrass people.
That's just me.
Can we get the calculator up, please? This right here is a fresh and fit female delusion calculator.
6 foot.
Delusion calculator? What? I think it's like it makes sense that there's a lot going on here. Like putting people down to build yourself up. I don't know what's going on, but it's definitely like it doesn't feel very healthy. Comparisons. Well, comparison, all I know is a lot of quotes and things that people say, like what do you call it, like idioms that people just say, or for hundreds of years. Comparison is the thief of joy, and a lot of this is kind of just stealing people's joy in being who they are by comparing them to other people or telling them they're never going to meet that certain standard one way or the other.
For a fee, viewers could pay to have their comments read out live on air.
So people are paying to say mean things to them on. Yeah, man, it's just not fun for me. Like, if I had a YouTube channel where people were just coming on and sticking mean comments to whoever I was interviewing, like, this is a very kind. I like to think this is a very kind space. Like, in the sense of we can disagree, but do it in a respectful way. Like, if somebody doesn't like a movie I like, that's cool. Like, that's okay. It's just weird, man. It's weird. This idea that I just don't enjoy conflict. Some people do. Some people have a lot of like anger that they want to get out in different ways, and if maybe going online and spouting it is your thing, and that's, I guess, if it feels an outlet and it doesn't feel like an echo chamber, and you just keep repeating it. Like I say, I have some experience in these things in terms of like qualifications and work and stuff like that, but we're all just human beings, and my YouTube channel is fun, like just for fun, and I want it to be like include people and make us feel welcome and have somewhere to talk about movies and books and TV shows and stuff. So it's as the kids would say, like, it's not too deep. It's not that deep. I don't want it to be reductive. He's talking about these podcasts being reductive. I would find this I would be sweating if I was on one of these podcasts. I would be just like sweating bullets because of just being attacked and stuff like that. I'd think of a snappy comeback about 3 hours later. Yeah, thanks, Larry. It is a fun space. I feel it is, yeah. And I've got a lot of, I think as well, it's like yourself, Larry, for example, and I can think of maybe like 10, 15 people who are just really funny, like intelligent, and like I learn stuff from, and I find them interesting, and I find them like to a certain, like friends, and that's a really cool, and I feel really thankful for that. So yeah, like that is the positive side of it, and also all from different places, all from different backgrounds, races, religions. It's just fun, like just talking about movie and stuff. Like it's not it's this side of it. I would hate to be sat at a table with 12 people where we're all just trying to tear each other apart. And I'm the same in work. If I'm honest, if I'm successful, it's because of the people around me and the team that we've built. So just got some it's interesting. He's just saying about how, isn't it a strange thing how like they want to be surrounded by models and women in bikinis and stuff, but they also are like constantly calling them disgusting at the same time.
An interview be done with the influencer Bonnie Blue, famous for claiming to have had sex with 1,000 men in
Now we're on to like the kind of OF side of things. And he's having a debate with with Bonnie Blue. HS is not Louis. So she's leaving. It lasted about 10 seconds because he was just calling her names and stuff. But I mean, like, oh man, this feels so out of my sphere. Like I'm interested in kind of finding out what Louis' take is in it. But isn't it tiring? Isn't this kind of stuff tiring and like just all part of a really big negative cloud that feels to be hanging over us at the moment, politically, socially? Like, no wonder we escaped to nostalgia. Jeez. Oh my word. I'm gonna go and take my dog a walk after this and clear my head. It's just sad though. I don't think it's like I am angry and I disagree. It's just sad. Like it's just really sad to see these people. Like you might go, "Well, what are you going to say about? He's got big muscles and a Lamborghini and lots of cars and blah blah blah." Cool. Like, yeah, that's cool, but it's not for me, man. It never was. He's just trying to call them out on the bit of the hypocrisy here, contradictions, but I don't know. He's not going to get that. I think Louis making his point. He's not going to get them going, yeah, do you know what, Louis, you're right. That's very rarely happens. I promote it and then I discourage people from doing it, which is quite funny.
Come down to the gym, I'm going to help you work out, and then you come in the front door and they just a row of donuts. Here's a box of donuts.
Louis like, yeah, it's like going to the gym and then when you get there saying, hey, do you want a donut?
You do what you choose. If you want to go and eat the donuts, but I own the donut shop. So when you come in the gym and pay for my PT,
I want this guy to be my I wouldn't want him to be my trainer, to be honest, at the gym.
You sound a bit like Bonnie Blue. In what way? You're saying it doesn't really matter what choices I make because I'm making money and my kids will enjoy a high standard of living. So my choices are irrelevant.
Well, me posting a picture with a few girls is the same as getting shanked by 1,000 guys.
He's just compared him to
Are you getting triggered?
I'm not getting triggered, but I don't know why you're talking shit, mate.
Why not try and be a good person?
He mentioned earlier on about his relationship with his mum, which I thought was interesting as well.
People don't pander to their worst impulses.
About pandering. He's actually asking him some tough questions here, like pandering to their worst impulses. You know, why not try and be a good person? This is the thing, isn't it? He wouldn't have blown up on social media if he had been like you know, going out and kind of giving like negative stuff, like hate watching, and it does get lots and lots of views. That's how I can reconcile myself with the fact I get none. I don't get none. I get ones that matter. I get quality views from quality people. Thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, I guess it is. It's about like, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to sell from yourself to get things? Very, very interesting, and also not a new conversation. Like, this is not. They're not inventing this style of behavior. It's just there's a bigger audience. Can you imagine, you know, like make a video and like 12 million people watch it? That's insane. Like 12 million people. Some agree, some don't, some like, some hate. All of those things all mixed up on one thing that you've done. And because the thing you did was like on the video is not something you were proud of. It's crazy.
He enjoyed the first time so much. He's back out here with the crew.
I'm behind the scenes.
He is content.
What about Ellie?
Oh, I'm not forgetting Ellie. Everyone knows about Ellie, mate. Don't worry, Louis.
Ellie, were you part of House of Peace?
So he's streaming and he's putting Louis on that. I love it when they try and put Louis outside of his comfort zone and put him into things. It's a strategy that like very insecure people do a lot. Like with Louis in the documentaries, they try and put him in to the middle of their world and see how he responds.
He's a genuine guy.
He's a genuine guy.
Would it disappoint you if you found out that HS was very judgmental of OnlyFans and thought it was actually disgusting?
Not really. No, I don't care for other people's opinion on what I'm doing.
There's nearly every single person on this has got one thing in common. They all say, I don't really care about other people's opinions.
Double tap this screen up right now.
Male audience, what can you expect? No.
I'm just saying what the chat is saying, man. I've got to be entertaining the chat.
Since I've last seen him,
I mean, it's nice going to the beach and all, for sure.
£300 an hour if the audience was big enough, with the pressure always on to keep them engaged.
Keeping people engaged, yeah, that's the tricky bit, isn't it, I guess.
Even so, what happened next was unexpected. So HS and his team have suddenly pulled off.
Boys, this right here is going to be fucking interesting. So he's going to pull up.
So apparently, Louis here now. The guy's disappeared, and
set up a date online with an older man with the aim of
they're gonna like humiliate someone online.
Stepped away and watched from a distance.
I thought it was gonna be like a sting, you know, but so some guy's gonna meet with him. I don't know if the guy is just like a gay gentleman.
Then, sensing something was up, tried to leave as HS's hangers-on.
And then they're just kind of chasing this guy, but Louis blurred it all.
They accused him of being a predator.
Okay.
Knowing if this could be true. Eventually, he got away.
Oh, that was so funny.
Oh man, I didn't expect this to be so dark and depressing. Like, but then I guess, like, none of they're not things I would watch. And Louis watching them, they're not things he would watch.
Was that not the plan?
Of course not. I've never done that in my life. You can't just do that to a random person. The plan's to like have them there, call the police, get them nicked.
So I don't know what that was all about, but it's like a mob thing, I guess.
You don't get to beat someone up. That's not law and order, is it? How did it do on the stream?
Few thousand watching, 4.5K total.
So what will happen is that will that sit up?
So the watchers and how many people are watching it.
Really?
Yeah, I just didn't want that on the internet.
Despite what he told me, within seconds, HS's online team had clipped up short snippets, flooding them onto Instagram and TikTok, emblazoned with the logo of an online gambling company.
All right, so
Oh man, getting people into gambling as well. Like, I've got an addictive personalities, and I've got an addictive personality, not just one. And like getting people into online gambling and stuff like that is, man, it's not good.
I was still thinking about the ugliness of the so-called predator sting.
Self-control is important in these situations.
Myself being pulled in and farmed for content.
So Louis is kind of finding himself being farmed for content at the moment. We've got about 34 minutes left of the documentary. The chat are trying to get them to say things to Louis to get him to do. They're throwing a Jimmy Savile thing at him.
That's saying you're friends, and
He's dead, so I can't be friends.
you used to have a few free cops. Anyway, on that note, let's keep it stepping. It's time.
So he's trying to drop things in, like embarrass Louis and say stuff, make fun of him. And then straight over to a punch bag machine.
No, that's okay. 921, 922.
Marbella. Oh, my word. Nice calling Louis gay. Ha ha ha.
Hey, Theroux, is that how you punch if someone was coming into your house about to attack you and your family? Like, someone clipped that when I was chatting to Louis earlier. He really don't want to be in the live. He don't want to be
Of course he doesn't want to be in the content, but then I guess this is he's following someone who's a content creator. that he definitely tried to trap him a little bit. But he's in this like I don't think HS Tiki Toki is going to like not film while he's around Louis. So and they're clipping up stuff about him. And then several of them are going viral. And when Louis goes quiet, somebody's like, when Louis goes quiet and lets them speak, you know he's doing a top class job. And the HS is worrying now, like that Louis is gonna edit and make him look. You are what you are, mate.
What are you gonna do about it, pussy hole? Nothing.
He came across to me like a fighter talking.
Yeah, it does. He's like trying to be like a boxer or something here, the way he's talking.
Return now to growing concerns around the proliferation of misogyny online.
Like my concern is like I don't know if you've seen the TV show, the Stephen Graham TV show, Adolescence. Like, it shouldn't take a TV show like that is a fictionalized thing to get people talking. Like, I do think it is like quite sad that was the like, and we go, oh, schools should be doing this, schools should be doing this, families should be doing this. Like, talk to your kids, spend time with your kids. Like, geez. And it's like really comes down to the value of having like a really strong family unit, and that doesn't necessarily have to be like a traditional one, or like, you know, it just people like positive influences in your life. And if you don't have them, what you fill that space with is so potentially catastrophic.
A little bit anxious to go see him, I can't lie.
And it's like putting on this big front, this big man front. Like a lot of these guys are like, you know, never done a hard day's work in their life, put on fake tough guy voices and accents and shout about how tough and amazing they are. It's just like, it's tiring and also really sad. It's just a facade. It'd be great if one of them would like open up, but I don't think this is even the right place for it, because if they open up to Louis, it might, well, for one thing, their job completely changes and their success of the type of people there changes their life, but also like they're not in control of how Louis presents that. So I wouldn't necessarily think that, but I think it's, you know, I think it's an important thing to kind of work out, you know, the idea of, oh man, a generation of like people without like strong father figures.
I used to play in this neighborhood. Yeah.
I've read online and I've seen you talk about how you had not the best upbringing in some respects, right?
Yes, sir. We were very close to being put in a foster home. I mean, there was a lot of
I think what's come out of this for me is documentaries. Louis definitely shown how sad this is, and maybe some of the root causes in a very simple way. And there's nuance to everything and subtlety to everything, and everybody's journey is different. And I am not one to judge at all, and I mean that. Like, I don't know these people. I'm just watching a piece of entertainment. But I think what's coming across here is quite a sad documentary. Like, it feels a bit like some of his earlier ones where we go into like a, you know, mega church or something, and there was like just a couple of people there, like the hate churches, you know, the ones where they're like the Woodsboro stuff, and like you could see there was a couple of people there who wanted to get out.
He told me several times about his one-way monogamous relationship. It seemed possible it was related. Hi, I'm Louis. You do.
I mean, you want to frame the things you're doing as positive in order for you to be able to do them wholeheartedly. So I understand where a lot of these people are coming from. The problem is if it has a negative impact on your family, people around you, other people, then that's really even worse, dragging people into it, isn't it?
Would you be happy to take us around a little bit?
This is the gym.
Eva, show them how you swing. Show them Lambo.
She has her own Lambo, the little kid.
That's where bath time is every night.
Do you do the bath, Justin, or is that
I don't do baths or diapers.
I like to tell people we have lanes. My lane is diapers, cooking, and cleaning, and his lane is working. And
so as people,
we don't,
ultimately are happy. But people who tend to be happy don't tend to be angrily telling people how happy they are all the time. That's my take.
My previous relationship that I was in before him, I was lied to a lot. And so my biggest thing with him was like, honestly,
we're more likely to listen to people with like a social standing now, I think, than we are than a scientific or a like a background of kind of study and knowledge. We're definitely more likely to just listen to somebody who has a charismatic delivery system and is quite loud and has a lot of followers. That's why I've been really enjoying this beginning of Infinity. I'm not selling the book or anything, but I'm really enjoying the book because it's like an ambitious look at maybe not like some of the things that have held us back, but like how have we done it? Like finding explanations in things. How do we find the explanations in things? And like do we just look at things like realism and just say like if we can see it and touch it, then it's true? But like how, if somebody tests the boundaries and tries something new, how do we kind of take that? Do we take that as have they tested it? Have they studied it? Or is it somebody who is like, oh, it's Dr. Thingy, so therefore it's right? Like these, I found I've only read about 4 or 5 chapters, but like, like people would look and make stories, like cavemen and stuff would make stories to explain the things around them. And that's, kind of, does that get in the way of progress? Being able to like kind of attribute something to a story. Are these people doing that? Are they just are they attributing like a story to their behavior to justify the things they're doing, but it's not necessarily making any progress? In fact, it feels a little bit like regression really in some ways. Or is it just repeating what they're doing, what they've had happen to them, but when they were kids their role models were really poor and they had no money, they become a really poor role model who has lots of money, and that's the only difference.
Like having to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and put on scrubs and go to a hospital and clock in and like have to work for somebody else.
So like even I'm kind of trying to think of a way of explaining this book and how great it is, because it does kind of tie in a little bit, I suppose, with trying not to look at things in a nihilistic and negative way. I guess it comes down to like we're making progress if we're solving a problem. Like if it's a good enough explanation, we accept it. So like that's basically the sort of the crux of this book. If it's good enough explanation, like that quest to explain something. So the central role of like people is to kind of find this good explanation, if it's good enough, and what makes a good explanation. Because there's things that we accept now that we laughed at years and years ago. So why is that? Why do we accept it now and we didn't accept it then? Like, what makes a good explanation? So we actually do have it. Like, and it's almost the opposite of nihilism. It's not like, oh, it doesn't matter what you do. you're not going to be successful, or it doesn't matter what you do, you have no impact on the world, and the world will just continue to. It's more like it does matter what you do. It's just how we get to solve that problem in a way that is acceptable, and that's the hard bit. But it's actually real. I think that's a really positive message that we can kind of progress and move forward. It's just we might not know in the moment what progression looks like, but I'm pretty sure it's not selling crypto. I'm pretty sure like progress doesn't involve like kind of sort of crushing other people. So this guy here is, I believe he is called, I'm not sure what he's called actually. I missed his name, but his idea, Nico, I think he's called. So I think, is it that he is, his thing is that he's just like, I'll say whatever, and with that, I'll say really outrageous stuff, and he's got no boundaries with that, and that's kind of to push himself to the top, and that kind of ties in with like people's political agendas or money-making agendas. So Louis is going to go and see him. This guy, I imagine, is like 100 times bigger than, HS Tiki-Toki and people like that.
This is your place?
Yeah, one of them. So I'm working on this video today. I literally just came from a protest. There were protesting on Musk and calling Trump a fascist, and I was wearing the city hall.
You talk to people down there?
Yeah, I do.
So he apparently does things like goes to talk to people with a camera and like ask them questions and things.
How would you position yourself politically, culturally at the moment?
I'm a huge Trump supporter. I have this stuff everywhere. I just came back from the inauguration. I've been a Trump supporter since 2015.
It sounds like, are you even in the manosphere? Not really.
I guess so. I am. I mean, I think that...
I don't really know what... Yeah, I was going to say I don't really know what the manosphere is, but I think it's like... Maybe the idea is that these influencers of how you treat women and make money and stuff has now crossed over into mainstream politics. I don't know. I don't think Louis is sure really here as well.
Now seeing that there's laws like, okay, actually no, there's only two genders.
And I don't know how you can feel so qualified to talk about something that has like absolutely nothing to do with you. Like, I just can't imagine weighing in on like some of these debates that he's talking about. Like I'm an authority on it. Jeez. Like, I know the things that I have experience in and have studied and I'm qualified to talk in. And I know the things that I'm not. And I hope I would be sensible enough to keep my mouth shut. These people, the thing is, what I'm doing is I'm comparing myself to somebody 20 plus years younger than me in a completely different realm who is having immense success by saying anything. So, of course, I'm not going to understand that. Maybe it's impossible for me to watch this documentary and try and understand it. That's a bit crazy. So it's funny how they kind of talk about like kind of religious stuff, and then on the other side of it, like there is the way they're treating people doesn't feel very Christian, He's got a lot of fans, this guy, and they all seem to be young kids.
People heard the wrong things, and generally he's not that bad of a person, but I got appreciate
that. It's the same. Probably this is a little bit repetitive, this part of the documentary, because it's the same story for each of these people. Like, the American guy, the British guys, they've just got different levels of wealth, but they're all saying the same stuff in the same way, using the same methods. Oof. So yeah, it is feeling a little bit repetitive, and they're not necessarily going to reveal a lot about themselves, I don't think. This guy seems to talk a little bit more in a comfortable way. I guess the higher up you are, the more money you're making. He knows that this isn't like going to make any difference to his money and his audience, so say whatever he wants. So this guy thinks Satanists are ruling the world.
Sam Smith, he used to look like you. And then suddenly he became extremely fat, he became thinner. And then now his worshipers are not just spreading LGBT, he's straight up worshiping the devil. It's not even subtle. All the music is saying something unholy, and then the way he performs it, he puts on the devil horns with 30 devils on stage, and they're simulating having gay sex at the award show. Is this just like art?
Well, what is art?
Who's basically
telling him to do that and starting him in that direction. Absolutely.
So they're discussing Sam Smith. I don't really know enough about Sam Smith to comment on him. So it's weird. It's like a combination of like religion, gender stuff. What do you call them? What are those things called? Conspiracy theories. All kind of rolled into one. I guess whichever gets the most amount of views is what you'll talk about at that time. There's kind of Illuminati stuff, I guess.
Sneeko had disavowed the red pill that leaned further into conspiracy.
So he's gone. Yeah, he's not as bothered about the red pill stuff, but he's more about like he's leaning more into conspiracy theory stuff, and he's gone more away from women stuff. This guy apparently more to do with like religion, like weighing in on stuff. And it's like seeming a lot of like anti certain religions and races and stuff, which, you know, Lou is investigating people like this in South Africa and in America years ago. It's just the thing is these people are doing saying the same stuff, but then I think they are then going, but I love them, like in the other sentence, whereas they're not wearing a white clan outfit, or you know, they're just kind of going, you know, this thing is terrible, and calling it all the names, and then going, but I love them, and you're like, what? Or like, and they'll be like, are you racist? Oh no. Yeah. Oh, okay. Because you just deny. It's like, it's fine.
Another was HS. Seemingly leaping onto a bandwagon of hate because he knew it was so shocking it would be clippable.
So the bandwagon of hate, yeah.
It almost felt like an inflationary spiral of racism and bigotry in order to get people's attention. That this could quickly escalate.
Yeah, definitely escalating.
Stranger still, it seemed to me, it was all with the aim of selling products.
Yeah, so it's like they get into a fight and they're still trying to sell products to teenagers. I guess no, man. I mean, we watch boxing, we watch MMA, but like maybe there is like a market for just people watching. I mean, blimey, when I was at universities, kids were passing around. Do you remember bum fights? They were passing around bum fights DVDs. So like, it was something I was just like, we need to have a hard line here that this is wrong. But There was loads of people who loved that. I don't know. It's the allure of something being that you're not supposed to do, I guess. Can't think of the word off the top of my head. But it's that allure of doing something you shouldn't be doing. Watching something you shouldn't be watching. It's funny how he's like doing these sort of videos about Louis when he's not there. Like, you're calling me this, you're calling me that, as soon as he's gone. It's just, he's nervous because I think he's finding out more and more about him.
Social media following up, mainstream papers and TV shows taking notice. The digital world he inhabited meant that instead of being casual, riding high.
Riding high. So he goes back to see, I think the central person in this has been HS Tiki-Taki, because he's the most insecure in the people that he's met, who doesn't want Louis to get like one up on him. He wants to have the last say and the last, and kind of the last word on, and he's just kind of keeps bringing Louis back, and he's trying to work him out and like make Louis look stupid and stuff. But yeah. So now we're talking like with HS's mum, and before he was saying how it opposite to the things that he believes his mum would be upset to hear the stuff that he says and does. And now he's backing up because his mum's there. I mean, why do this in knowing that it's going to be, you're going to have to walk back the stuff you said when your mummy wasn't there? His mum seems like she is doing her best, and she seems like a nice lady, and she seems like she's got her head screwed on, and I imagine she did her absolute best with him. And in some ways, like I think she gave him like she's done, I don't know the ins and outs, but she seems like a nice person. I think she sent him to like a nice school, but then again, what do we mean by nice school? The environment there might have been very negative for him. Who knows? Might have played into some of the stuff that we're seeing now. But then again, you could be watching this and going, but he is mega successful. He's got millions of subscribers and money and all this kind of stuff. So, that can't be argued against. I'm not homophobic. I've got a gay mate.
That's not homophobic. The other thing was some of the anti-Semitic things that you were saying. But he's Jewish.
He's Jewish. Oh my word. It's getting very Ricky Base in The Office now, this. It's getting very Equality Street, this. I think the thing about HS Tiki-Taki is that, and some of these other ones, but him certainly, is he seems just like a ridiculous. He takes himself so seriously. He's ripe for ridicule. So he's like a ridiculous person. Streaming to a live audience. Oh, so he's doing it. He's online streaming while Louis is filming him, just to kind of talking to his mum. So I guess he's maybe trying to do spoilers. I don't know. Do you remember that game? He said, "I'm playing the game of life." Do you remember that board game, the game of life? His mum's like, he's not going to talk about any issues with the law.
Done it just to get a reaction, so please don't, or else it will end. If you don't agree with what Harrison's doing, then why are you making money off of it on a program by publicising it? You're doing it because you think.
She's challenging Louis now, like, why are you making this show about him if you don't agree with it? Why are you making your money off people? She's like, even with your mate Jimmy Savile, you chose what to cut.
Do you know what? I get Jimmy Savile energy from some of the Manosphere figures. Jimmy Savile used to work. HS seemed to have changed tactics to put me on.
He's putting him up, trying to put him on his back foot.
You're a puppet. You can't say what you want to say. You want to think about what you're a puppet.
Yeah, he's like literally throwing questions at Louis, and he's just like, I don't want to answer them. So he's like, you're a puppet. You can't say what you want. It's like, no, Matt just don't want to say it.
I don't do this bullshit edit you guys do, where this wouldn't be in the show because I'm real.
He's wanting to really crush Louis. That's the only reason he's brought him back.
This is why I say what I believe, and I don't need to edit anything ever.
Nothing needs to be edited out. Okay, yes.
HS's declaration to his camera and his live audience was, I realized,
It's his grand finale. He's done. He's just basically slagged off Louis, slagged off what he's doing, and then he's like gone. And it's been clipped up within minutes of him finishing the conversation. I think somebody had told me or seen this and put out and clip farmed and what have you. And then the other guys are kind of weighing in on watching it as well. But so it was all like, you watch as the beginning part where like he said he's going to come back and kind of you know, like crush Louis. That's the whole purpose of it. His mum's there as well, so maybe like his mum's complicit in this, or does she think that like maybe she thinks his son can do no wrong? I mean, he seems like he lacks boundaries, and that's not necessarily her fault. I mean, she's got she had a part in that, I guess. But she said to don't embarrass me and don't be rude and all that. So, you know, it's a reflection on me. And then he's just kind of done what he wanted to do anyway. So she's actually trying. I don't know. I'm getting a really confused mixture here of what he's like with his mom and what he was like with Louis there. And then he's just ended up losing his temper and like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. It's showing little videos here of Ed Matthews online with doing like little marshmallow challenges and things like that when he was a kid, and then where he is now. Sneeko, age 15. It's kind of just showing. I think that's actually quite telling when you see these people. He's just put growing up online in a world that's changing dizzying speeds. And now look at him. Yeah. It is interesting. It is interesting that he's kind of shown those context clips of them when they first started. And like, is being chronically online does it lead to your downfall, or are you just going to be who you're going to be anyway? They've created their followers. Yeah, they're selling a dream. You know, like we had snake oil salesmen back in the Wild West. It's yeah. Never has snake oil been so popular.
We are all increasingly inside the manosphere.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the target audience, but I'm aware of these people and I've seen bits and pieces of what they do. Therefore, somebody who's actually looking for it or their target audience, then, well, they'll be seeing a lot of it. So it's just finishing off by saying HS has been arrested. And he's not had to go to jail. 1 year suspended sentence. I think he crashed a car and ran away. Driving without insurance. It's ticky-tocky. Myron and Angie have broken up. So that was the woman the guy was like, oh, I've just got this, you know, I'm monogamous and my wife isn't. No, the other way around. My wife's monogamous and I'm not. Who else have we got? Sneeko has been unbanned on YouTube. He instantly regained 2 million followers. Is that it? Ready? Oh, Louis going back to punch the thing again. And he's punched the punch bag and he got 882. Louis got a new personal best on the punch bag. That was a funny way of doing it. I think that would actually piss off HS Tiki Toki, because he'd be like, you know, he thought he got the Louis' wife was an executive producer on that. An interesting final word there in a funny way. I don't know what I was expecting from that. Maybe I got a little bit deeper than I thought into the documentary rather than Louis' style. But his Louis' style it was classic Louis style, really. I just think maybe because it's so close to home in terms of like you see so many people influenced by this that it just makes it feel quite sad. I don't know. I mean, you don't always watch a documentary. It's not going to cheer you up, is it? Nothing real positive came out of it, I don't think. But does that help? Will that help someone? Will someone watch that and think, like, I've been kind of blindly going along with this, and actually it's not that good? I don't know. Or is it literally just documenting it, and we'll look back at it in 10 years' time and be like, yeah, that guy's prime minister now? It's crazy. I was watching the documentaries the other day, the Vice documentaries on reality TV, and the guy who did Survivor, and then he started The Apprentice. And I was just thinking, if he hadn't started The Apprentice, then like America would have had a different president. I'm sure of it. That's mad. Like, the power, and then it's a bit like now. It's like people on social media, on YouTube, and mainly the streaming people. They're going to be the people that are running the place if we're not careful in 10, 20 years. Wow. Okay. I didn't even get to do my Louis Theroux impression. Are you okay? Is this all right? Okay. Is this something I'd say? Okay. It's not the best. Thank you so much for watching this. I appreciate your comments, positive ones, or negative ones framed in a polite way are fine too. You can disagree with anything I've said. I'm not really sure what I've said, really. I mean, hopefully try to keep it more about Louis, who I've always found his stuff really interesting. I prefer Adam Buxton style of interviews. I think he's a better interviewer, podcaster. His books are great as well. There's like an emotional connection there that Louis maybe doesn't do, because Louis keeps that documentarian distance. But I think when it comes to documentaries, they're always entertaining. And, you know, it would be disingenuous for me to say that I'm looking for anything more than entertainment. So, thanks for watching. The Manosphere documentary is over. Where do you think Louis will go next? What do you think he will do in terms of his next one? Would that have been any different if it was on BBC? Probably not. It's felt very much in keeping with his normal stuff. Yeah. Not got much more to say. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking about it. I think it just, when you see people behaving badly, or what I would describe as behaving badly, it's sometimes it's a bit of a, you know, for want of a better phrase, a bit of a bummer. A bit makes you a bit downhearted, a bit, you know, like, that's a shame. But then again, we're drawn to stuff like that, aren't we? We're drawn to people doing things that they shouldn't do, like things that we definitely wouldn't do. And you're like, oh, I can't believe they did that. It's like why we watch Jackass or whatever, or we used to do. So yeah, I don't know how revealing that was. My word, HS TikTok, a really insecure guy though. Wow. Yeah. And I think Louis hasn't changed his style. I think he's always been somebody who, you know, follows a certain pattern, and it was no different. It was very good. It was interesting. And moving on to repeating myself, I think I'll leave it there. And thank you again for watching this stream. I have got a few more streams coming up. On Saturday, I'm watching Hot Fuzz with Larry, the Horror Cat Dad, which will be awesome. So even if I fall asleep tonight and I don't get to go online and wish him a happy birthday, I will get to wish him a happy birthday in 3 days' time. So that's good. And I think beyond that, there's videos coming out Friday the 13th. I've released there'll be a little video there talking about Jason Goes to Hell, one of my favorite bits of my interview with Adam Marcus and the director of that. And yeah, they'll just keep an eye on the channel and ask me if there's anything you want me to talk about or watch. And yeah, have a great rest of your day. It's good to see you. And take care of each other. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.